Mhm. Switch out. Check. 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 All right. There we go. Mm-hmm. 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 All right. All right. Here we go. Hello. Hey, Felipe. Felipe, how's it going? This is Derek. Sorry, I know this is a bit random, but I was calling about a property I believe you own on Lynn Street. Oh, okay. Completely understand. While I have you, would you happen to have any others you might consider selling at the moment? Okay. All right. Well, I appreciate you taking the call. Bye. Bye now. Hey, Veronica. Hi, this is Derek. Sorry, I know this is a bit random, but I was calling about a property I believe you own on West Street. Okay, completely understand. While I have you, would you happen to have any others you might consider selling at the moment? Nope. She responded with "not for sale," which I can honestly appreciate. I'd rather they just cut to the point, get to the get to the no or the yes. Hi, is Miss Ochoa? Hey, this is Derek. Sorry, oh, I'm sorry. Am I speaking with Miss Ochoa? Hi there, Miss Ochoa. Oh, I'm sorry. My name is Derek. I was calling about a property I believe he owns on Arkansas Street. Okay, completely understand. Thank you for your time. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. Hey, Donald. Hi, is this Miss Irwin? I'm looking for Miss Irwin. Irwin, correct. I might have the wrong number here. I apologize. I was. Oh, I probably have the wrong information. I'm sorry about that. I know. Hey, Miss Flores. Hi, this is Derek. Sorry, I know this is a bit random, but I was calling about a property I believe you own on Duncan Street. Oh, I'm sorry. Maybe I have the wrong information here. Well, appreciate you taking the call. Go ahead, mark that as wrong number. She said she doesn't own property. Hi, Santiago. Hey, how's it going? This is Derek. Sorry, I know this is a bit. Right. Okay. Hi, is this Mr. Hey, Mr. Molina. Hey, how's it going? This is Derek. Sorry, I know this is a bit random, but I was calling about a property I believe you own on East Sunnyside Street. You don't own that property there? Oh, okay. I might have the wrong information here. While I have you, would you happen to have any property that you're looking to sell at the moment? Okay, I appreciate you taking the call. Um, I don't know what's I don't know what's going on. I feel like People sometimes, well, I know that people sometimes will lie and say that they don't own the property that I'm asking for, but um, makes it difficult for me because I just mark it as wrong number. And I'm going to try the other numbers associated with that property, right? It's like, I don't know, people are funny. They'd rather lie to you and then just tell you no for some reason. Like that guy, I'm pretty sure he owned that property. I just kind of heard it in his voice. Hello? Hi, is Miss Melina? Oh, I'm sorry about that. Hello? Hi, is Miss Cardenas? So where do I go to put them in the bucket? Um, that's what I need to figure out. Because there's nowhere on this screen. Which is silly. I mean, what do you mean? Why do I have buckets if I can't put them into one from here? SMS, email, agent script, calendar, events, history. I think that's pretty silly. Notes, contact details, notes, agent script, connectors, contact details. It should be right here. I should be able to put it into a bucket from here. Does anybody use call tools? Why in the world do they have buckets if you can't put them into one from the dashboard? Oh well, I'm just gonna mark. I'm just gonna say not interested because Spanish speaker. I'm gonna hop out of that campaign for 1 second, and I'm going to add a contact disposition of Spanish speaker because I want to be able to parse them out. What's the point of buckets? I don't get that. I have buckets here, but how do you put them into buckets? Buckets are a simple data management tool which allow you to push contact data in by contact update, API, sales funnel rule, or automation. Push contact data in by contact update. So I would have to literally come in here to contacts and do that. Um, yeah, I would have to do it after the fact. That's silly. They need to add that to the dashboard. I need to be able to do that while I'm calling. This isn't even the right one. I don't know, call tools. Something's going on here. Yeah, that's no good. Whatever. Not gonna let it slow me down. Gotta hop back in. Oh, I think that's really silly. I mean, unless I'm missing something, but I don't think I am. Or you know what? This is probably what I'm missing. Well, no, probably not. Sorry, everybody. I'm still kind of figuring it out. Wrapping my head around this dialer. Contact fields. I need to go to settings and users, features, reports, data, contact fields. Here we go. Let's see if there is buckets that aren't showing on dashboard. Nope. I thought that was for sure going to be it. ID ready to contact. Create field. No, it's not it either. Oh well. Damn, I thought for sure that would be it. All right, let me just add a contact disposition that is. All right. That's hopefully somebody in Call Tools watches this. Because that's dumb. What up? What up? What up, J Luck? On the dialer right now. I was just trying to wrap my head around. I had a Spanish speaker get on the phone, and in Mojo, I would have. What would I have done? I would have put them into the group. They call it group on Mojo. I would have put them into my group, Spanish speakers. And over time, that group builds out, and I had a good amount of them. I have it saved somewhere on my computer when I switch dialers, but uh, my goal is to at one point in time have somebody who's bilingual or Spanish speaking call through that list, because for all I know, in fact, I've even connected with some people who understood what I said in the beginning of the conversation when I asked if they would receive an offer on their property or if they would consider one. And I've had Spanish speakers say, yeah, I would. Can you have somebody call me back who speaks Spanish? Um, and I've just kind of put them to the wayside for now until again, I've said this a lot of times, but I'm more so going after the lower hanging fruit for now. I don't want to have to jump through hoops, find somebody who speaks Spanish. Like at one point in time, I'll have somebody who's bilingual or, hello. See, and that happens all the time too. Um, so frustrating. So, anyways, to finish my thought, at one point in time, I'll have somebody call through that group, but on call tools, they call it buckets. So I have, hey Eugene, hey Eugene, how's it going? This is Derek. Sorry, I know this is a bit random, but I was calling about a property I believe you own on Maryland Lane. Oh, okay, okay, completely understand. While I have you, would you happen to have any others you might consider selling at the moment? Nope. Um, but yeah, on call tools, they call it buckets. So I have buckets for like if I get on the phone with somebody and they're Spanish speaking, if I get on the phone with somebody and they're a real estate agent, if I get on the phone with somebody and they are not interested in selling but tell me that they are looking to buy something, so I'll have a cash buyer's bucket. Just kind of like those one-off miscellaneous type of things that pops up kind of frequently though when you're dialing. Um, Trying to think of somebody else or another group. Anyways, um, on call tools, there's nowhere on the dashboard while I'm dialing. Hey, Jose. Hello? There's nowhere on the dashboard while I'm dialing to actually put them in that bucket. Um, so I really see no point in it. If I have to log out of the dialer and go find the person in the contacts to then put them in a bucket, that just seems silly to me. I want to be able to put them in a bucket right from here. Or maybe I'm just interpreting it wrong. Maybe that's not how they use buckets. I don't know. So instead, I just added a new contact disposition and I put in Spanish speaker. So all of my contact dispositions are not interested, follow up, warm lead, hot lead, DNC, or Spanish speaker now. So I might as well add other contact dispositions like realtor, cash buyers, like I was talking about. I guess there's really no point in buckets. I don't know what people use those for. And kind of what I was saying too about I've gone on about this with call tools, but I never hear them say hello. It always connects after that, I'd imagine. Um, so half the time I get to the line before I even say anything, they're going at, hey, is Mr. or Mrs. Castillo? Hey, is Miss Castillo? Hey, how's it going? This is Derek. Sorry, I know this is a bit random, but I was calling about a property I believe you own on Durwood Street. Yeah, I just wanted to give you a quick call and wanted to see if you would ever consider an offer on your property there. You ever considered selling? Absolutely. Thank you for taking the call. Feel like I've been getting a little bit better at determining whether or not I want to follow that up with a. Do you have any other property that you'd consider selling? Um, some people, I mean, you're. I'm always gonna want to try to slip it in there, but for somebody like her, you can't hear her, but she was like, you could tell she was already taking the phone away from her ear, getting ready to hang up, and she did. She hung up before I did, so uh, she's, it was clearly I wasn't the first person who called. She was already had that prompt response of the no, 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 thank you, and she went to go hang up. So that's why you'll hear me sometimes try to squeeze in the set. Hey, Irma. Oh, I'm sorry. This is Derek. I was looking to get a hold of the owner of a property on Strickland Streets. Do I have the right number here? Sorry. Oh, okay. I was looking to get a hold of that owner. I wanted to ask if you'd ever consider an offer on your property there. You ever considered selling? Well, for us, it really depends, on the condition. That's really how we base our offers. Mm. Yeah, yeah. Well, I'll have to take a look. I appreciate you taking the call. What I'll do is I'll kind of take a look at the area, figure out what the lots are going for, and then if it's all right if I give you a call back, I can give you an offer. Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah, we'll do. I'll give you a call back. Thanks for taking the call. Bye now. That was the most interesting call I've ever had. I wish you guys could have heard that. I think he was drunk, but I couldn't even try to reiterate how he sounded. I couldn't understand half the shit he was like. You just plan on reinvesting your next deal and hiring some Spanish speakers. I don't know if it's gonna be Spanish speakers specifically. I think I'm gonna slow play it. Depends on how big of a deal the next one I get is, and but that's definitely. I remember you asking last time. Hiring some cold callers, I think, is my next like bigger, aside from like maybe figuring out what softwares and stuff like that. But like in terms of hiring somebody, that's for sure going to be my first hire, I think, is cold callers just to get the output up, pump the numbers up. That's really what it comes down to is like this, like me sitting on the dialer. It's productive for me because I don't have somebody else doing it. But really, I think that my time would be better spent only talking to the people who are already pre-qualified. So I think that's going to be, um, I mean, yeah, but now that you mention it, I think I will definitely go into that hiring process with the intention of getting somebody who's bilingual. That would be awesome. Um, and that would definitely be what I need. But that guy right there, sheesh. He says, how much you offering? How much you offering? Just tell me, bro. Just tell me, bro. Come on. Quit fucking around. Don't play no fucking games with me. Don't play no. But he told me, yeah, I was like, I didn't give him a number. He said if he got 100,000 for it, he would sell it. He says the house ain't worth shit. Um, it's gonna go for the lot value. He said all this like so quickly. I was just trying to piece together what he was even talking about. Property was built in 1954. He said the house ain't worth shit, just the lot value. He said he just bought the property right next door for 20 racks. Um, which I'm looking at right here on Google Maps. I'm not going to be able to give him 100,000 for it. His estimate is 90, and I don't know if there's any new construction in the area. If there is, it would have to be something silly. It would have to go. The new construction would have to be what, um, like 400,000. It would have to be like 400,000 for me to come even anywhere close. Um, and I don't think that homes are going for it in that area. But let me take a note real quick for myself. Um, I'll say follow up. I'll mark them as a follow up. Create a note. Um, has been offered anywhere from 40K to 80K before for the property. He says the house isn't worth anything and it will sell for lot value. Kept saying things like, I'm not stupid. Just make me an offer, bro. Um, Said he'd sell for 100K. Um, Save that. I'll create a calendar event for myself to just run some comps. I'll say run comps, determine MAO check new construction in the area for lot value. That is a task. I'll do that later tonight. Maybe hire some surfer dudes designed to tolerate the drunk callers. Yeah, seriously. Anybody who, I mean, I'm down with that. I'd rather that kind of call than, I mean, he was just down to earth, if that's like the proper terminology. He just like wasn't, he no fluff, he just got right to it. Doesn't care clearly what other people think of him. He was dropping all types of curse words, calling me bro, telling me he was saying, I'm not stupid, bro. I'm not stupid. So just offer me something. And if it's something that I think I like, I'll fuck with you. I'll fuck with you. I was like, all right. So it's like not really how I talk, but it's a lot more. It's a lot closer to how I typically talk when I'm not on the phone. So I can get down with that. But it's when people get on the phone and they're rude is what I really don't appreciate. But I can understand it at the same time. I can't expect everybody to be kind and courteous when I'm interrupting their day. Hello? Hey, Mr. Ramirez? Oh, I'm sorry. Maybe you could help me. I think I may have the wrong information, but I was looking to get a hold of the owner of a property on Folger Street. Oh, okay. Completely understand. Thank you for your time. That's something else I'm trying to focus on as well. Is I mean, yeah. I was gonna say is just getting to it like I just did because the person that I'm looking for is either I don't know if the first name what gender that is, so I went for the last name, Mr. or Mrs. Ramirez. It was a gentleman on the phone, so I asked for Mr. Ramirez. He said no. But what I want to get in the habit of doing is still asking about the property, just because he doesn't share a last name as the person I'm looking for doesn't mean that he doesn't know about that property or whether or not the owner is actually going to be interested in selling. So that's something that I'm trying to get in the habit of is still asking about the property, even if it's not the person I'm looking for, or if it's not the person that I'm looking for completely, still asking if they have any property that they'd be interested in selling. How was your weekend, John? Win the costume contest. um, our weekend was really good. No costume contest, although our apartment complex hosts one every year, I think, but we didn't send in any pictures this time. But last year, we sent in a picture, and it was a picture of my girlfriend and our dog. She was, um, uh, hello, hello. Hi, is Miss Bass? Miss Bass? I'm sorry, I was looking for the owner of a property on Keelan Street. Do I have the right number here? Yeah, I was looking for the owner of a property on Keelan Street. Do I have the right number here? All right, I'm gonna go ahead and say that that was not the right number. She wasn't really saying anything to me, but yeah, last year my girl dressed up as Dorothy from Wizard of Oz, and we had uh, our dog be the lion. We won that. Forget what they gave us. Like $100 off rent or something like that. I butchered their last name too. I went for the base instead of Bass. I'm assuming it's pronounced Bass or Boss. Probably Bass. But it seemed like she had no idea what I was talking about. And I'm still considering changing the settings on the call tools here to fast connection. I don't know if connection is the right word, but they have the option to make it slow, normal, or fast. Um, and when you do fast, you kind of what's the word I'm looking for? You you just go into it under the assumption that you're going to get connected to a lot more voicemail machines because it's connecting the line right when they pick up, and you're not giving the system enough time to determine whether or not it's a machine or a human. But if you do slow, then it will definitely pick up on the fact that it is a machine, and you'll get connected to a whole lot less machines. But then you're also kind of sacrificing your con. Hey, Hugo. Hugo, how's it going? This is Derek. Sorry, I know this is a bit random, but I was calling about a property I believe you own on Majorca Drive. I am a human being. Really, really. I just wanted to give you a quick call and see if you'd ever consider an offer on your property there. You ever considered selling? In terms of your, I gotcha. You're talking about your mortgage. You're just trying to come out on top when you sell it. I gotcha. Okay, okay. All right. Well, I can certainly give you a call when it's a little bit more appropriate for you. When would you say? 30, 45, 60 days? Sure. 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 All right, sounds good. This is my number. You can feel free to save it. Reach out if anything changes in the meantime. And again, my name is Derek, and I'll be sure to give you a call in a couple months and round back, see how things are going with you. All right. Appreciate you taking the call. Have a good one. uh, he went for the are you a human being or a robot? I guess that kind of opens my eyes. I need to make it um, a little bit more personal. Although I try my very best. I don't know. I guess my girls told me that before too. I need to chill out on the script. Um, he said it sounds like interested, but he wants to pay down his mortgage um, a little bit more so that when he does sell, he can walk away with some more money. I was gonna try to pivot and pre-qualify him, and figure out, if the offer that I made him, I mean, yeah, if the offer that I made him was going to give him enough money, like I don't know how much money is he looking to get, right? I could have easily unfolded that conversation and turned it into at least some type of a pre-qualification conversation, like figuring out a little bit about the condition, figuring out how much he owes, and why he's wanting to pay it down and get a little bit more, like what is a little bit more to him, and what is that number that he has in his head that he's hoping to get. because maybe I could have made it work, right? I don't know. I didn't pull it up in prop stream or anything like that, but it sounds like he kind of already had his mind made up at the idea of, because it's true. I mean, regardless of what he wants to walk away with, it is true that if he pays down his mortgage, you know, however much more he pays down his mortgage is going to be as much as he walks away with, which is why it's kind of silly now that I think about it. Like just like keeping it real round numbers, if he owed 30,000 on the property and I am able to offer him 50,000, the fact that he is willing to pay down $10,000 off his mortgage doesn't change the fact that I'm going to be able to offer 50. And this kind of, goes along with what you were talking about, Jalep, about, wanting to see comps run on that one property that had all those bankruptcies and those mortgages. It doesn't change anything. It doesn't change the fact that I'm able to offer what I'm able to offer. So it's kind of silly for him to think that by him paying down his mortgage, he'll be able to walk away with more money because, again, using those numbers, if he owed 30 and I'm able to offer 50 and he pays it down, so now he only owes 20, I'm still going to be able to offer him 50. So yeah, he'll be able to walk away with 30, but he just spent 10,000 to pay it down. Oh, maybe it's rented. If it's being rented, then that's understandable. Then he's just using his cash flow to pay it down. I hope that's the case because if not, then he's kind of just like in in misunderstanding, right? And I hope I'm making sense. Like if he can get 20,000 now, but he wants to pay down his mortgage, he can pay 10,000 to pay it down so that he can get 30, but he just spent 10,000, so he's really only netting 20. Um, Hopefully that makes sense. And the only case in which it makes sense for him, although I see that his mailing address matches, so it looks like it is owner occupied. Uh, I think it just doesn't really make much sense to him. And that's something I'm glad that I'm kind of talking it out loud because now I'm going to follow up with him much sooner and try to kind of explain that to him and educate him in that regard. And let him know it doesn't matter how much the property you owe on the property. I'm able to offer what I'm able to offer, right? So, kind of regret not having that conversation unfold a little bit. It kind of threw me off in the beginning when he was starting to ask if I was a robot. So he kind of had his guard up, but uh, it got a little bit more casual towards the end. So I'll definitely follow up with him. CWL, what's going on, my fellow Californian? How's the cold call going? Going pretty good so far. It's I'm really still wrapping my head around the call tools software platform. I'm really used to Mojo. Call tools is cool though. I haven't I haven't really tested going up more than 3 lines, but I know a lot of people call using 5 lines, so that's something that I'm going to test out soon here once I really wrap my head around things. So like some things even popped up today where I felt like I needed to kind of take a step back and redial it in, but it's going good. The contact rate in general is much higher, that's for sure. On Mojo, I would be getting 20 contacts max on like a great day, 25 per hour. In this case, I'm able to. I think I had a strong session the other day where I took down like 25 in 45 minutes, and that was me doing this. I think I was on YouTube, so I was like kind of shooting the shit, not really like dialed in. If I'm focused in it and I'm next, selecting the call disposition right then and there and moving on to the next one so it keeps dialing, I'm feeling pretty good about the number that I can run up in 1 hour. Any warm leads in the last few days? I didn't get a chance to watch. Yeah, I got a I got 2 good ones. One that I followed up with on a cold call lead that you might have seen the other day. Um, it was her. It was her and her husband. They are in the middle of their renovation. So I actually, when I cold called her, I pivoted to try to get a realtor referral because she had let me know that they were already in the process of renovating and that they were likely going to list it on market after they were finished renovating. So I went for the realtor referral. If you watch my realtor relationship video that I just dropped the other day, where I introduced myself to a new realtor I was referred to, I kind of let him know about that one. Uh, so then I called her back, trying to see if I just wanted permission from her to provide her contact information to the realtor that I just spoke with. Um, But before I did that in the conversation, I was just kind of revisiting, the renovation project, how things were going, what type of stuff she's already done, what type of stuff they're thinking about completing. And then I found out they're not really renovating. Um, when I hear renovation, I hear they're redoing the kitchen, they're redoing the bathrooms, they're painting the whole house, they're replacing the roof if it needs replacing. But in her case, she didn't mean that at all. I think what they had done so far was they like recarpeted one room, they retiled the kitchen. That was the most that they had done. They retiled the kitchen and they replaced the cabinets. So that will take the cost down if it's done well, um, and the materials are nice, right? Then that's something that will take some cost off of renovation. Now it's just like a matter of like getting appliances in there and painting and making sure the countertops are nice. But she wasn't really renovating. So then I went for the cash offer. She's saying that she wanted 100,000 after they do their quote unquote renovation, and that she plans on putting about 30,000 into it. So I was kind of, this is something that I mentioned in the video. I kind of regret, but I regret kind of putting her asking price in her own mouth. What I had asked, I said, so correct me if I'm wrong, but what it seems like is, you want to get 100,000 after the renovations are done. You plan on spending 30,000. So right now, if you were to sell it as is, you'd be probably around 70,000. And that's something that I regret doing. I shouldn't have put her asking price in her mouth for her. Um, because if I would have asked through a different way, she may have said something less than 70. I reran the numbers and I reran the numbers really quickly. I hadn't comped this one before I called. So I was comping it while I was on the phone with her. I saw properties on PropStream that were selling for around 150. So, um, with my formula that I ran, I needed to be like max 50,000. So I threw out an offer range to her of about 35 to 50, and she said no. But I reran the comms, and it looks like I mean, I'd have to rerun them again because I didn't spend too much time on it. But I brought it over to Redfin, which is what I'll do almost every time. After I run it on PropStream, I'll run comps on Redfin. And on Redfin, I started finding ones that were selling for like 180, that were comparables to her house. So I think I could probably give her what she's wanting. I'm gonna let it kind of breathe for a little bit with her. I don't want to call her right back and be like, "Hey, I made a mistake. I can give you 70,000," because that's just gonna turn her off. I think she has that type of personality. When I was on the phone with her, she seemed so committed already to doing these renovations. She seems like the type of lead where I have to let her figure it out. She's going to come down to it. I know this is going to happen. She's going to come down to do the actual repairs and realize, what are we doing? We don't have 30,000 to put towards this. Well, again, so this is another situation where it is tenant occupied. So this is an absentee owned property. So they're just using the rent that they're collecting from the tenant to dump back into the property, which is exactly what another one of my leads did, which is like kind of frustrating. But I understand it, but I think they're in over their head and they need to figure that out by themselves. So I'm just gonna, continue following up with her. When I do follow up with her, I'll let her know that I made a mistake, and I think that we could get up closer to that 70,000 if it's something that she's interested in. Um, and hopefully by that point she's already gotten overwhelmed with the amount of work that actually needs to be done to the place, and is not wanting to deal with it. And then on the second guy, I got him through text SMS campaigns, and he's the hottest lead that I've gotten so far. And if this works out, it could be a really big deal. This guy has a house that is saying is pretty much lot value. Um, he's saying there's not much worth to the property itself, but if you were to fix up the property, you would have to spend about 50,000. I think I agree with that number. Now, the interesting one with this one is you could look at it two different ways. If I were to find a flipper, somebody who wanted to come in, fix up the property, and relist it, just fix and flip it, I could probably make like a $10,000 assignment fee off of his asking price right now. He's asking 250. I I don't think I made any offer to him when we were on the phone. I just because the Astros were getting ready to play, so he let me go. And but what I want to do is follow up with him and try to get him down from that 250 a little bit. And That way it'll work either way. But there's one option where I can assign it to a fix and flipper, but there's a lot of new construction in the area, and the new construction is going for like over $1 million, which is unheard of. Um, Pretty unheard of. But at least in this city, it depends on what section of the city you're in. But this is the first time where I've gotten a lead that's in the middle of all this happening. So if that's the case, and I find the right buyer for it who's willing to tear it down and build a new house, I think the assignment fee could be upwards of 50,000 on this one, because I think that somebody is probably going to be willing to pay, um, you know, 300,000 plus for just the lot alone, in order to build a $1.2 million house on it. And he's asking 250. So if I can get it at 250 and assign it for 300, I think it's a deal here. I just skipped trace another drive for dollars list in Houston. Can you help me with cold calling, or do you only partner if it's under contract? Um, that's a good question, CWL. I mean, I could cold call it, but it wouldn't make much sense to me. Um, it wouldn't make much sense to me, and I honestly recommend that you do the cold calling. If you're just starting out, don't shy away from it. Just do it, man. It, it's intimidating. It's easy to be fearful of it. I still am. I don't want to be here and act like I'm not intimidated when I get on the phone with these people. But I'll tell you what, it's gotten a whole lot better. Um, it gets easier every time. So don't shy away from it. Do that. And if you do get something under contract, or I mean, bring it to me if they're like on the fence and you feel like this is a really hot lead. If you're able to pre-qualify them, then yeah, shoot it my way. Maybe I can give them a call and see if I can just get the contract locked up, right? And then we can figure out how to dispo it, and I'll keep you kind of in the loop with that. Yes, might be hard for them to renovate, especially with the inflation going on. Yeah, the cost of materials, it's since decreased since it was like all in social media and stuff, but it's definitely still high. The cost of materials like lumber, especially. So this guy said, uh, interested but wants to pay down his mortgage a bit more so that he can walk away with a good amount. Um, gave Eric permission to follow up in a few months. I'm going to set myself a calendar event. Follow up. First I'm going to say on comps. I'm going to do that tonight. Well, I guess I can just do it then early next week. No rush. And then I'm going to set myself another calendar event in like 2 weeks. Follow up. I'm going to say mention that's regardless of his outstanding mortgage balance, it wouldn't affect what you're able to offer. Give an example to him so he understands. Be sure that it is owner occupied, because if it is tenant occupied, and his method of paying down the principal actually makes sense. I'll call him in like 2 weeks. Ensure that this field, mention that mortgage balance. All right, boom. Sorry, it's in my connection table for a second, but I think I'm back. Let me know if you can't hear me. I've always wondered how people get a 50K plus assignment. Yeah, I mean, I know that they're a whole lot more common in higher price point areas, right? Like, honestly, if I were to do it locally out here in California, it's easier to get bigger spreads when the numbers are higher, right? So right now, when I'm dealing with like $100,000 properties, I'm essentially like getting that property for 40 and assigning it for 50, maybe 60. You know what I mean? But if you're dealing with $1 million properties, then you may get it for 400,000 or 500,000 and assign it for 600,000. You know what I mean? It's like kind of the same idea, just bigger numbers. So the like you can just like I guess as a rule of thumb on that one, like $100,000 property, you may be able to get a 10% of the ARV. If the ARV is 100,000, you may be able to get a $10,000 assignment fee. If it's $1 million property, you may be able to get 100,000. Yeah, and it all depends too. The stronger your buyers list, right? So the stronger your buyers list and the better your negotiation skills, the bigger problems that you're solving for the sellers, it just stretches it in both directions, and the spread becomes larger. The more you can negotiate them down, the more of a problem that they have that you're able to solve. Meaning that they're willing to give up more equity in their property if you're able to solve that problem for them. That stretches it on this end, and then on the other end, the stronger your buyers list, the more um, you know yeah, the stronger your buyers list, the buyers that you have that are willing to pay more than your other buyers. Hello. That was weird. He answered really funny. I'm gonna say DNC on that one, as weird as it may sound, because I didn't say anything, but he answered a little aggressive and was talking about how he doesn't answer unknown calls and he doesn't speak with people. So I'm just gonna go ahead and say DNC on that one. Lala, what's going on? Hello, hello. If you're in here, do me a favor, hit the like. It really helps me out, and I appreciate you guys for doing that. And subscribe if you haven't already. But yeah, in this case, J-Lep, I think I just got kind of lucky. Uh, or, I don't want to say that I've gotten lucky yet because I still got to lock it up. He's really not interested in selling, but he's saying, I would need like 250,000. And to him, which is always why you want them to say their price first, to him, that sounds like a lot of money. To me, it sounds like a lot of money too. But in all reality, if he were to know the type of buyers that I plan on getting in contact with, when I get this property under contract, um, then he would know that there's a lot of money on the table. Hey, Maria. Hey, Maria. Hello. Hello. Can you hear me? She couldn't hear me. That's all right. Keep it pushing. But yeah, again, I was gonna say I got lucky. It's just that in this specific situation, it may be able to work in what am I trying to say? The fact that there's new construction in the area going for so much more is like unheard of to me, right? It's crazy to me to think that this guy's lot is probably worth 300,000 because any other new construction play I've been dealing with in the Houston metro area, um, I've been looking at new construction going for like 300,000, 400,000 tops, which would have a developer be wanting to buy that lot at like 50,000, 60 top. Hello? Hey there. I was looking for the owner of a property on Sadler Street. Do I have the right number here? Of a property on Sadler Street. Do I have the right number? Oh, I'm sorry about that. I may have the wrong information. Uh, oh, all right. Thanks for taking the call. Number This is weird. Guaranteed Real Estate Solutions. This is an LLC that owns this property. I'm gonna pull it up in PropStream right now, and I just want to double check. I typically don't like calling people if they own, like, at this point in my career, I don't like really calling people that owns three or more properties. I typically want to get them if they own only one or two properties. This property is vacant. Um, it was listed on the MLS and did not sell, and the person only owns two properties. So um, I think I just got the wrong number. It's just weird that it's in an LLC. You don't really see that often, where somebody purchases it and takes title to the property as a company or a corporation, how it's listed in PropStream, and they only own like one or two properties. Um, so, but yeah, back to that property. It was kind of, yeah, it's got lucky the fact that not only can it be fixed up and flipped. Now, if it was to be fixed and flipped, I think I would need it a little bit lower than what he's asking at 250. But hello, hey, is this Mr. Rodriguez? Oh, I'm so sorry about that. I got 713-882-9789. Oh, I'm sorry about that. I'll be sure to take you off here. Appreciate you taking the call. It's funny when people ask. That always cracks me up. What number are you calling? I'm calling the number that I just called. What do you mean? I'm calling your number. But I read it off to him just so I don't insult him. You know, what's going on, everybody? Everybody who's in here right now, do me a favor, drop a like if you like it. No pressure. I hope you like it. Soon, I'm going to. I need to look into that like tonight. I need to get a little speaker so that you can hear what they're saying. And because I just don't want to sacrifice the quality that this headset gives me. I can hear myself talk through it, and it's very crispy compared to when I'm talking to somebody on speakerphone. But yeah, for that one, hoping that it works out. That's the hottest lead that I've gotten through. Hey, Juan. Juan, how's it going? This is Derek. Sorry, I know this is a bit random, but I was calling about a property I believe you own on West Street. Yeah, I just wanted to give you a quick call and wanted to see if you'd ever consider an offer on your property there. You ever considered selling? No. Okay. Oh, wow. Okay. Okay. Completely understand then. Yeah. Yeah. Right. I got you. I got you. Well, I appreciate you taking the call. All right. Have a good one. Bye now. Um, he was cool about it. Said that what diaper do you recommend? I don't know. I don't. Ah. um. Hey, Cora. Oh, I'm sorry about that. Um. it- that gentleman was talking about how it's been in the family, that property, for like almost 100 years now. It's 19 or like 80 years. Um, and he was like, yeah, I'm pretty friendly about it. When people call, I just let them know, my forefathers will probably come haunt me in my dreams if I sell it. So I get it. He was cool about it. What dial do I recommend? I started with Mojo. I really liked Mojo, so much so that I may even go back if I can't. Hello? Hi, Miss Collins. I'm sorry. I was looking for the owner of a property on Edda Street. Do I have the right number here? No, I'm sorry about that. She was mad. but I could also I foresee myself uh, really liking call tools. The contact rate is much higher. Um, it and I'm it has the capability of dialing up to 10 lines. Although I don't know of anybody that ever does that. Even the pros in the industry talk about not doing more than five. I'm still just on three because I'm just trying to wrap my head around the software and the dialer before I start just burning through the data. Even on three lines, I can see in my little reports after I get off my dialing session that um, I'm missing out on opportunities. I'm missing out on conversations because people are picking up on the other line when I'm on the line with this person. What I liked about Mojo was that you could see it all happening. It's very interactive, the interface. You could see who you were dialing, the name and the phone number, and then when they answered, all of their contact information popped up on the screen. With call tools, you can't see who's being dialed. It's just that when, hi, is this Miss Bowie? Hi, I'm sorry, I was looking for the owner of a property on Adele Street. Do I have the right number here? Hi. Oh, okay. I completely understand. Well, while I have you, would you maybe happen to have any other property or maybe a piece of land you'd be interested in selling at the moment? Okay, okay. Well, I appreciate you taking the call. Bye now. I it's it's weird. I would probably recommend I mean, it's difficult. I can't. I don't feel comfortable. I don't feel comfortable recommending call tools right now because I haven't really wrapped my head around it. So, like, I don't. I wouldn't want to point you in the direction of something that I haven't really proven to myself is worth it. It's cheaper. Call tools is cheaper. You're gonna if you want a triple line dialer, which I do recommend if you're gonna go with Mojo, is I think it's 150, 150, 160 a month. Call tools is 119, and everything after that is free, right? So you're gonna have to buy caller IDs through call tools. You may not even have to buy it through call tools, but you will need caller IDs because it's also not the same. Mojo dialer is a um, what's the word? Analog dialer. So you have to have a cell phone um, to call into Mojo so that Mojo can then start dialing out. With call tools, I'm buying caller IDs and then my caller IDs are in call tools. So then I'm just plugging my headphone in or my headset in and then just pressing play and then it'll start dialing. My cell phone is nothing's needed with my cell phone. Um, so I would say Mojo as odd as that sounds because I switched away from Mojo. At this point in my call tools tenure, I would probably recommend Mojo. That way, if you do have questions or something like that, you can come to me and I'll be able to answer them. I definitely have my head wrapped around Mojo. Do you drive traffic with Google Ads to a website? I do not. And then have them fill out a property info form. I don't. To have the up in the follow up convo, or do you just cold call only? Right now, I'm just cold calling and texting. I just started implementing texting, slowly rolling that out. I've sent off about 1,000 about text to 1,000 people. I've sent each person a good handful of texts, but it's all automated. So they're just continuing to get texts for, I think they get like 5 or 6 texts over the course of 30 days. And they have some ringless voicemails sprinkled in there as well. So right now I'm just cold calling and texting. I messed around with me and my partner. We did a little bit of everything when we started. We shouldn't have, but we did a little bit of uh, we bought bandit signs. I don't even think those things got put out because we're not there in the market. We hired somebody to put them out. I don't even think they got put out. We did direct mail for a little bit. We got some callbacks with that, but it's like an interesting type of marketing. You need to be right by your phone. If you're not going to answer the phone with those type of things, especially with web as well, you need the infrastructure set up. You can't just people are doing that CWL, I'm gonna get real with you. You need to cold call. Don't get caught up in the shiny object syndrome like I did. Don't get caught up thinking that there's an easier way to do it. A lot of people turn to web, they turn to Google ads, they turn to Facebook ads, they turn to building out a website to avoid hopping on the phone. You're going to get in contact with so many more people through cold calling. Granted, it's going to be a whole lot more no's, right? But I'll tell you like this, if you're going to do website, if you're going to build a website and you're going to run a Google ad and have them fill out like a submission form with their contact information and their address or whatever you are asking for, if you're not there as they submit that to give them a call, or if you're not there as they call you, you need to be by your phone and by your computer 24/7. Because if they're going to go to your website and fill out your contact information, they're going to 4 or 5 other people's websites and filling out their contact information on their website as well. And they're likely going to sell to whoever calls them back first, right? Because that is a motivated lead. They're looking for somebody to make them an offer. So if you're not there ready to make them an offer, they're going to go with somebody else. So Google Ads, I think that'll probably be like the last thing that I implement, because again, you need the infrastructure. So you need somebody, whether it be you or an employee, if you want to outsource it or whatever, you need somebody right by the phone. You need somebody right in front of the computer. Same with like direct mail. So you're sending off a bunch of mail, to people, and they get it, and they're not going to call you right when they get it in their mail. Maybe they will, but more likely than not, you're going to have to send them 3, 4, 5, 8 pieces of mail, and then they're going to call you, right? And when they call you, you have to answer the phone, because if you don't answer the phone, they're going to start going through every other mailer that every other investor sent them. It's like they decide, like, okay, you know what? Today's the day. I'm going to call all these investors back because now I'm ready to sell my house. I've made the decision. I'm going to sell. I'm going to sit down today. I'm going to spend hours on the phone calling all of these people, and whoever answers and gives me the best offer, that's who I'm going to sell to. And if you don't answer, you've just wasted all that money sending them mailers. You've missed out on an opportunity. So you need the infrastructure for that type of stuff. That type of stuff, I think Brent Daniels would refer to it as reactive. So, you set all this stuff up and then you have to react to them taking action, right? If they submit an online form on your website, you have to react to that quickly, ASAP. If somebody's going to call you back from a mailer, you have to react to that immediately. Whereas dialing, texting, um, just reaching out to for sale by owners, that's proactive and it's on your timeline. So you decide when the leads are going to be generated, because you decide when you're going to get on the dialer. You decide when you're going to do the follow ups, when you're going to reach out to for sale by owners. So that's what I would recommend for you. Don't, please. I did it myself, and you're hearing it from the horse's mouth. Don't think that you can avoid getting on the phone by doing all these other creative things. You'll end up just wasting a whole lot of money, not getting any leads. And if you do get a lead, you're not going to know how to talk to them. You're not going to know how to pre-qualify them. You're not going to know how to close them because you have no experience on the phone. So if anything, just use the dialer as practice. Just get your reps up. Talk to as many people as you can every day. Um, but that's my little 2 cents. Okay, I'll check them out next month. La la. I think you're talking about probably Mojo. Yeah, give him a shot. Um, I really like that dialer, and I'll definitely be able to help you out and point you in the right direction. I can just give you my exact setup, how I did it. I really liked it, and that got me my first 2 deals. So, oh, I don't remember what this last guy. I always do that. Did I connect with the last person that I was talking to? Do you guys remember? George. I don't even think I asked for a George. I think it might have just been a voicemail. Oh well, I'll just mark it no contact. Hopefully that makes sense, CWL, and hopefully you're not taking it like personally. I'm not trying to like call you out, or I'm wanting to protect you and save you from making the same mistakes that I did, because I know it. I can honestly and very safely say now that it was a mistake that I didn't just get on the dialer right away. How do you calculate rehab costs? I don't. I just use a little cheat sheet. Uh, I can send it to you if you want. I'm gonna drop my email in the chat, and feel free, anybody who sees this, to email me, and I just like put. Hello? Hey, is Mr. Rodriguez? Oh, I'm sorry about that. Just put something like um, rehab cheat sheet in the subject line or something like that, and I can reply and I'll send you what I use. Just a little quick cheat sheet. It tells me um, all you really need to do is consider how big the place is, the square footage, and what type of rehab, whether it's going to be a light rehab, an average rehab, or a heavy rehab. Light meaning like just carpet paint, average being like carpet paint, kitchen, bathrooms, uh, and then heavy being like all the above. Plus, it needs the AC unit replaced. It needs a new roof. It needs new windows. It needs landscaping. It needs the works. If there's like some type of mold and it needs mold remediation or termite damage where it needs to get tented, anything like that. I mean, that's going to fall under the heavy. And then you just want to make sure, because if you have a heavy rehab for a property that's 1,200 square feet versus a heavy rehab for a property that's 2,500 square feet, it's going to be a big difference in cost just because of the price per square foot. Even if it's a light, though, you know what I mean? So you have to consider the size and the level of rehab. Because even if it's just a light and it needs carpet paint, you're paying per square foot of carpet or flooring, hardwood. Same with paint. You're paying for, one bucket covers so many square feet of wall, so um, go ahead and email me and I'll send you a little cheat sheet that I use. The only reason I want to make that clear too, the only reason that I use this cheat sheet is because I'm in Texas. My market's in Texas and it's a non-disclosure state, meaning that there, this is how I understand it. I don't want to speak as if I'm some pro in this regard, but there's no obligation or there's no requirement to report to the county or city what your property sold for if you sell it off market. Even on market, if you go to look at like any sold properties on like Zillow or Redfin and you scroll down to the price history, it'll be blank. But they do have those prices on PropStream. So if you have PropStream and you're in a non-disclosure state and it was sold on the MLS, you'll be able to go and click the little MLS details tab in PropStream and you'll see the sales price. And you can see the sales, like the price history. So if they listed it at 250,000 and then nobody bought it and then they reduced the price to 230,000 and then they ended up selling it for 220,000, you can see all that on PropStream. But the reason I say that in regards to rehab costs is because I have no as is comps to compare my subject property to. Rather, in disclosure states where you will be able to see what property sold for off market, then it's just as simple as seeing what as is properties are selling for. And then all you have to do is get the property under that price on the contract. So let me give you an example. In a disclosure state, if you're running comps on PropStream, let's say your property is a 2 bedroom, 1 bathroom, 1,200 square feet, it's a little small thing. And then you put all your parameters, your filters into PropStream, and you're pretty much telling PropStream, show me all of the comparable homes that sold within the last year that have 2 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, 12, within 200 to 250 square feet, same year build, give or take 10 years. And in disclosure states, you'll be able to see, okay, this one sold in as is condition for 40,000. This one sold for 45,000. This one sold for 43,000. And when you see that, it gives you everything that you need. And now I just need to get it under 40,000 and I'm going to guarantee myself at least a $3,000 assignment fee. If I get it around 30,000, then I'm probably looking at 10 plus, and that is the luxury of being in a disclosure state. You'll be able to see the as is sales. Whereas right now I don't have that luxury because I'm in a non-disclosure state. So I hope that makes sense. So now that I'm in a non-disclosure state, I can't see what as is property is sold for. I can only see what flips sold for, completely remodeled homes have sold for. So for that reason, that's why I'm having to reverse engineer my offer. So now I have to start with the ARV, the after repair value. Then I have to take into consideration commissions and fees that the buyer will pay on the back end. Then I have to take into consideration how much profit they're trying to make, how much of an assignment fee I'm trying to make, and then I have to take into consideration the rehab costs. But even then, I'm still just spitballing rehab. You know what I mean? So that's my long-winded answer to how I calculate rehab costs. The answer to your question is I use a little cheat sheet. But if you're marketing or if you're wholesaling in a disclosure state, you don't even need to worry about rehab costs. It's not even a thing. All you have to see is, okay, buyers, cash buyers are paying 40,000 for a property in as is condition. I need to get mine at 35 if I want to make $5,000. I can get it at 39 if I want to make 1,000. You know what I mean? I can see that they're buying it at 40,000. So hopefully that makes sense. Yeah, I'll definitely email you. I also watched a couple short videos about rehab costs and I created an Excel spreadsheet and I still have questions, but your cheat sheet seems very helpful. Yeah, man, I wouldn't think too much into it. You're going to get caught up just like anything else I've been talking about just kind of wasting your time. You're going to get caught up trying to calculate the best rehab budget, and it's not going to matter because you're going to do that for a lead that doesn't end up actually signing the contract. You know what I mean? So don't think too much into that, man. I sure don't. Something that I read, or I actually am going to recommend this book. It's by David Dodge and Mike Slane. David Dodge is a player in the industry. He wholesales big time, if you haven't already heard of him. But it's the ultimate guide to wholesaling real estate. I'll type it in as well to the chat box here. The ultimate guide to wholesaling real estate by David Dodge and Mike Slane. And in this book, Ohio's a disclosure state, so that's great. Yeah, absolutely. That's like I almost wish, but I've already built out my network in Houston so much so that I can't look back, and I've done deals, so I figured it out. But in this book here, I don't know what chapter it is, but at one point he talks about. This is a really good book for beginners because he gives everything in layman's terms. So when it comes to like rehab budgets, he works, and this is what I did in the beginning. He works off of the 5 to 10 rule, or the 5-10 rule, meaning that if it's something small that needs to be repaired, he factors $5,000 into his rehab budget. If it's something big, he factors in 10. It's as simple as that. And that's something that I did for a while. So like for instance, if the roof needs to be replaced, 10,000. If the foundation needs to be replaced, depending on how bad it is, 10,000. If it needs carpet, 5,000. If it needs paint, 5,000. If it needs a brand new kitchen, if the kitchen needs to be completely redone, 10,000. A new bathroom, 5,000. You know what I mean? Just like don't think too much into it at all. And honestly, just reading that from him and him like recommending that's how you do it. If anything, what I took away from that was don't think too much about it. You know what I mean? You don't have to be accurate. You don't have to be, even the people who are buying these things, even the cash buyers, they don't know that, I'm sure even if you have your ear to the real estate industry, you've heard of people going over budget or being able to get the project done for way less than they thought they would be able to. It's never accurate. So just make sure that you're at least taking it into consideration. And I would, in the beginning, even lean on the conservative side. So if you think, I think that they could probably get away with like a $30,000 budget, make it 35, 40, just in case, because you're going to run into the situation that I did where, and that a lot of new wholesalers do, they lock up contracts too high because they want that contract, so the seller is going to say they want 200,000 and you're like, well, with my numbers, I think I was at like 180, but like, that's close enough, right? Like 200, I can do that. And then you'll lock it up and then you'll get all of this cash buyer feedback saying, I'll pay 180 for it, So just like stick to your guts, be conservative. I would rather be conservative in estimating rehab budgets than, not. the last thing that you want to do is look at it and say to yourself, like, somebody, if I got a really good cash buyer, they could get away with spending like barely any money and they could rehab this. Like, no, that's not the case. You don't want to limit your buyers at the end of the day when you get that contract. You want to get it at such a deep discount that any Joe Schmo is going to want to buy it. They don't have to be this experienced flipper that's willing to pay top dollar. Because one, you're not going to have those people in your cash buyer database in the beginning, and two, you don't want to have to spin your wheels trying to find that person. So don't think too much into rehab and lean on the side of conservative when you are estimating a budget. And I don't even want to call it estimating a budget. It's just when you're factoring out, when you're determining your max allowable offer. He said, I think cold calling and texting is somewhat killing wholesaling. When I call people, I see sellers are more annoyed when I call them because they get the same stuff said to them 10 times a day. It's part of the game. It comes with it. Don't get discouraged. That's why I'm really excited for you to do that driving for dollars technique, because you will see firsthand that the people you call on a driving for dollars list, much nicer, much less inundated with cold calls, texts. Driving for dollars, I'm telling you, calling that list is like, I wouldn't. It's a world of a difference. I'm telling you. But it's not killing it. What's killing it is people going in and offering a price that's too high, and then backing out of the deal when they can't get it done or when they can't get it assigned. That's what's ruining it. People who are tarnishing the reputation of other wholesalers because they are unethical, bad players, don't know what they're doing. You know what I mean? There will never be a time where cold callers get nice people on the other end of the line 100% of the time. You're always, even when I'm calling my drive for dollars list, even today I've gotten a few rude people, but you just got to understand it. It's very understandable. Imagine if you were getting cold calls all the time too. Just know that those aren't the people that need your help. That's all it is. Don't take it personally. What you're really doing is looking for people who need your help, and the people who need your help are going to respond favorably. They're going to be nice. The people who curse you out, the people who say, "Oh my God, I'm getting so many calls. Stop calling me." They don't need your help. So, dispo, say not interested, and keep it pushing. Get on the phone with the next person. Try to find that person that needs your help. That's really all it is. I found that about 1 out of every 50 people that I connect with are true leads, meaning that 49 out of 50 people, I'll get on the phone with them and they'll tell me no. It's a lot easier when they're nice about it, which happens a lot more frequently on driving for dollars lists that you're calling. But it's all the same. Whether they're rude or not, they're not interested in selling. They don't need your help. How do you get the driving for dollars list? So the driving for dollars list is curated by you. It's the only list to my. Hey, one. Oh, I'm sorry about that. It's the only list that is customized. So, Lala, I have a little mini series on my channel about my driving for dollars process of how I do it virtually, at least. It's the same thing if you're doing it in person, but you're just behind the wheel of your car, not behind your computer. But driving for dollars, if you haven't heard of it already and it's new to you, essentially what it is driving this is how it started before virtual driving for dollars, I'd imagine, is getting in your car, driving around your market, and finding properties that are in physical distress, properties that have overgrown grass, properties that have. Hey, Rodolfo. Hey, how's it going? This is Derek. Sorry, sorry, no. All right. Um, sorry, that was a Spanish speaker too. Spanish speaker. Yeah, it's just identifying properties that are in physical distress. So you don't pull this list from somewhere, which is why it's so powerful. You know, because when you go to pull a list from PropStream or List Source or wherever you're pulling your list from, I would bet big money that hundreds of other people are pulling that exact same list and calling that exact same list, which is why when you call that list, you get people like CWL is talking about, people who answer and are like, "Oh my gosh, you again, like stop calling me." It's because a bunch of other wholesalers, investors are calling that same list. Now with the driving for dollars list, you are the only one who has. Hey, Ro, you're the only one who has that list, right? Um, so it's custom. It's the only custom list in this industry, to my knowledge. And that's what I have a little mini series on how to do it virtually, which is what I do. I simply drive on Google Maps. I pay attention to when the picture was taken on Google Maps. As long as it was taken within the last few years, and there's a tarp over the roof, there's three broken down cars in the driveway, there's overgrown grass, there's boarded up windows. You build your own list. So you either write those properties down or you have them in an Excel sheet, and then you skip trace that list and then you cold call that list. And again, like I've been saying, you'll find that more people, a whole lot less people will respond rude, um, or in a rude manner. So that's the list I'm calling right now. But yeah, to answer your question, how do you get the driving for dollars list? You create it. You create the list. You don't go to pull it. You don't get it anywhere. You one by one look at houses, say, you know what, the owner of that property. Hello. Sorry, that connected me and then it started ringing. Yeah, you create the list. You build it out, and it's powerful for that reason. Nobody else has that exact list but you. Now, I want to be clear. Sometimes you'll find a property that has a tarp on the roof, and they do pop up on a tax delinquent list or a pre foreclosure list, right? Because typically the people who have these homes that look like this, that are in physical distress, probably have some type of other motivator, like they're falling behind on their taxes, they're falling behind on their mortgage payments, something else. But the likelihood is, of you connecting with somebody who's been getting called 100 other times is lower than if you were to actually go to pull a list that everybody else is pulling. And also the reason why the driving for dollars list is so strong and powerful is because you know that whenever that property owner goes to sell that property, they are going to have to sell it to a cash investor. Unless they're either going to have two options. They're going to have to sell it to a cash investor, or they're going to have to dump the money in themselves to repair the house before they sell it. It's a great idea. I never thought about doing it virtually. Yeah, check it out. Check it out. I just simply drive on Google Maps. I house all my properties in PropStream. Just it's because I have it, but you don't even need PropStream. Well, the way that I showed you in the little mini series, you do need PropStream, but you really don't. it's just a little extra benefit. So the way that I do it is I bring it into prop stream, and I do a little bit of pre qualification. So I make sure that I'm not targeting anybody who has, like I said, 3, 4, or more properties. My thought behind that is that if they have so many properties, um, they can easily, liquidate, sell this property, make the repairs on this property, sell this property, make the repairs on, you know what I mean? They have the means to be able to pull themselves out of that financial situation. So I try to get people who have, like, two, sometimes three or less properties, um, and then have owned the property for like at least 5 years, right? Because you don't want to be calling people that like bought it last year. Um, and it's just also a way when you kind of pull it up on PropStream after you pull it off of Google Maps when you're doing it virtually. It's a way to cross reference, because a lot of times the pictures that were taken on Google Maps were taken in 2018, 2019, maybe even 2020. But you'll find sometimes when you pull them up on PropStream that that property that you saw on Google Maps has already been purchased by a cash investor, already been fixed up, and already resold. And that new retail end buyer has owned that property for a year. You know what I mean? So there's obviously no point in wasting money, skip tracing that property, and wasting time calling that person, that owner. So you don't, but I also want to be clear, you don't have to do it that way. Um, I did it that way because I'm on a budget. I don't want to waste money on skip tracing if I don't have to, and I don't want to call people who are going to be rude about it if they're going to be. So hopefully that makes sense. Very powerful though. Driving for dollars. I think I will forever do driving for dollars. At one point, I just hope to outsource it so that the list can be built um, without my involvement. Right. I don't want to have. I could easily hire somebody right now. That may even be the first person that I hire, is just somebody to build my driving for dollars list. I can just show them my mini series, tell them this is how I do it. This is exactly how I want you to do it. Man, I keep talking. Yeah, I just read that CWL for sure. I haven't done it personally. Hey, Carlos. Hey, how's it going? This is Derek. Sorry, I know this is a bit random, but I was calling about a property I believe you own on Harkness Street. Oh, okay. That was an excuse. He said no English. Um, I mean, I don't want to say it was an excuse, but I'm fairly certain. I can tell when people are, you know. He answered it saying hello. So, anyways, point of code violation. Yeah. Yeah, I haven't done anything through the county directly yet, but I know that there are also some lists that you can get, some lists that you can pull that are powerful. It's pretty much the harder the list is to pull, or the harder the list is to generate, like driving for dollars, uh, the less likely you're going to be contacting people who have already been contacted by 100 other people, right? That's pretty much the name of the game when it comes to lists. How easy was it to get that list? Did you just go somewhere and buy it? Did you just go on to list source and pull that list and buy it? Well, I'll tell you what, there's 100 other people, probably 1,000 other people who did exactly that. Um, or did you go physically down to the county, request a code violation list like CWL is talking about from specifically 2019 to 2021, or go down to you know, the recorder's office and get, I think this is where you get it, get tax delinquent records who are 2 years past. Oh, I see it. It depends, how much effort are you putting in to get this list? The easier it is to get the list. I haven't had a really good contact in quite some time, but that was a strong. Let me pull up my reports to see how many I ended up getting through today. funny. People will text me too. Hola, but I don't. Again, I don't have a phone. It's just the caller ID. So today made 523 dials. Um, 46 of the connections were human. Of those 46, see, this is what I'm talking about. Of those 46 the that call tools detected were humans, only 34 of those actually got on the phone with me. The other 12, which is 26%, they mark it as abandoned. Just gonna take this off. They mark it as abandoned, meaning that, and I hope that who was asking about the dialer, Lala, I hope that you're on here too, because this is really something that Mojo is, it's beneficial to go with Mojo. So on call tools, I'm dialing 3 lines. If line A, B, and C, right? If line A picks up the phone and then I'm on the phone talking to person A, and then line C picks up the phone, there's going to be nobody there to talk to them, right? Because I'm on the phone with person A, line A. So what Call Tools does is they just drop the call, I'm pretty sure, or they will allow them to just be like, "Hello, is anybody there?" No, and then allow them to hang up whenever they want to hang up, which is pretty much immediately. But what will happen, and that's what the count is abandoned. So 12, 13. I could have sworn that just said 12 a second ago. I think it did. What the hell's going on? But maybe I had somebody waiting on the other line just a second ago. But 13 times today, somebody picked up and I wasn't there to talk to them. But I did talk to, how many does that make it? 30, 34 people? 34 people, if I understand that correctly. Um, I don't know how many of those were wrong numbers or actually the people that I was looking to get a hold of, but I connected with 34 people on the phone today. Um, and 13 of them, I wasn't actually on the line to talk with them when they answered. Now with Mojo, what Mojo does, and I really liked, is they have what's called a callback message. Now with the callback message, anybody who has been watching me, JLEP specifically, probably callback message is a pre-recorded message that they will hear when they answer and I'm not there to talk with them. So let's say in that same situation, I'm talking to person A. Person B picks up the phone, but I'm not there because I'm on line A. What person B will hear is my pre-recorded message, and that sounds like this. I say, "Hello? Hello? Hello, can you hear me? Sorry, I think I have poor connection. Let me give you a quick call back." And then it'll end the line. And on Mojo, I can see, again, because it's very interactive, I can see what each line is doing. So if I'm on line A, I will be able to see, oh, damn, somebody picked up on line B. Okay, it's playing them the callback message. They're hearing the callback message right now. Okay, then I hang up with line A. And then right away, it's going to dial line B back. And not only is it going to call them back, but it's going to tell you calling back. So when you get on the phone with person B, you can kind of, I always started the conversation with something like, "Hey, sorry about that. Is this looking for this person?" So, where in this case, it just ends the call. So you kind of just have to sacrifice calling multiple people at once. That makes sense. Hopefully that makes sense because that's really what I liked about Mojo. You never, and the likelihood of them answering the phone right when you called them and had poor connection, quote unquote poor connection, is much higher than them answering and then you not being there. And then I may call them again tomorrow because they're just going to get recycled back into that same list. I may call them again tomorrow and they're going to say, "Oh, this number again. I'm not answering it. There was nobody there on the line the last time." Right. So that's kind of what you are playing with in call tools by adding extra lines. You're playing with your contact rate. You're playing with the amount of people that is going to answer the phone and you not be there on the line to actually talk to them. So hopefully that makes sense. That's like the biggest thing that I found with call tools. Again, when people talk about call tools, they talk about the benefits of being able to dial up to 10 lines. Again, I have not heard any pro in the industry say to go over 5, because any more than that, you're going to be dialing 6 lines at a time. You can only talk to one person. You can only talk to one person at a time. So the more lines you dial at the same time, the more people are going to abandon the call because you're not going to be there to talk to them. Granted, I'm sure there's a happy medium, which is why people go up to 5, because by increasing the lines, you will reduce the downtime. Meaning, when I get off the phone with somebody, the likelihood of there being somebody else who is either just picked up the phone or is about to just pick up the phone is much higher because I'm dialing more lines, right? But then with the increased contact rate comes an increased abandon rate. So you kind of have to, I'm still playing with it. I'm still figuring out what my budget allows, right? Because back in the day, I was single line dialer. I was single line dialing because I didn't want to run the risk of calling somebody at the same time and me not being there to talk to them. I thought I was throwing opportunities away. Then I realized that was silly. You should always go with at least a triple line dialer. And now I'm going to start, once I wrap my head around call tools, which I feel like I have, just some things here and there, little nuances. Then I'm going to start picking it up to maybe 4 lines and then 5 lines. So that I can start just generating more opportunity. That's really what it comes down to. So, wanted to tap back into my SMS real quick. Nothing really hot today. I'm limiting myself to Mondays and Tuesdays to send off new text messages, but it is on a drip campaign, so they are getting follow up automatically. So I just want to make sure to at least open it up every day. I kind of just keep the tab open in case one of these, follow-up texts gets sent off and then they reply. For the most part, I have been getting replies to maybe like the 4th or 5th text on like the 2nd or 3rd day. But it's for the most part just them telling me that they're not interested because they don't want to keep getting the text, which is, I think, why it's also powerful to send them automated texts like this, because I'm trying to get to that no, right? I want to get to that no as soon as possible. Um, I could care less if they're going to say no, but I need to know. Like, tell me, do you want to sell or not? I've drove for dollar a couple times. Found that a lot of the properties are either owned by some LLC or doesn't have enough equity. Don't even worry about the equity, man. Don't worry about the equity. LLC, don't worry about the LLC either. As long as, again, they don't own like 20 properties. Um, like, for instance, I own an LLC. I don't own any properties. If I owned one property, just because I have an LLC doesn't mean that, or just because I took title to the property under an LLC doesn't mean that I have been keeping up with the repairs. You know what I mean? So don't let that type of stuff intimidate you. Uh, all I check for is length of ownership. I want to make sure that they've owned it for like at least 5 years, preferably like 7 or 8 minimum. I want to make sure that they don't have a huge portfolio of property, because in all likelihood, if I called about that one property in the list of 20, they're not going to be interested. Again, like I said, in my head, they're just going to say, no, I'll just sell this property so that I can get the money to repair this property, and then I'll sell this property. You know what I mean? Like, they have ways of liquidating their assets to get the money that they need to make the necessary repairs. And I say the necessary repairs because that's the only reason that it would be on your driving for dollars list to begin with, is because you noticed something on the property that was in distress. You noticed that it needs a new roof. You noticed that the windows were boarded up. And then you may call an LLC owner, a company, a corporation owner that owns 20 properties, and they're going to say, yeah, I know it's been boarded up. It's been boarded up for the past 2 years. I'm leaving it that way. That's how I like it. You know what I mean? They're probably not going to say that, but don't let that intimidate you, J-Lep. Doesn't have enough equity, same thing. I don't know if you're checking PropStream. I imagine that's where you're checking, but it's not 100% accurate. I'll tell you that much. In anything on PropStream isn't 100% accurate. For instance, when I first got PropStream, I was just playing around with it, and I searched my mom's house. My mom has owned that house since I was born 28 years ago. It said that the length of ownership for her was like 5 years because she refinanced 5 years ago. So she got a new mortgage on it. That doesn't mean that she hasn't owned the property for 28 years. That just means she refinanced. But in PropStream, it reflected that she didn't buy that property until 5 years ago. And that will throw off the mortgage. Everything on there is just an estimate. So remember that. Not to say that it's not accurate. I'd say about 95% of the time it's accurate. But don't let certain things turn you off from just contacting them and asking them. Because I'll tell you what, Jayla, something else that you don't think of when you're doing this stuff is these people could own other property. So you may call, or they may know somebody that owns other property. They may have relatives that are looking to sell. You just never know. So don't focus so much about the pre-qualification before you make the call. I would, because that's what I did, like I said, but I limited my criteria to certain things: length of ownership, number of properties. That's pretty much the only two things that I looked at: length of ownership, number of properties. As long as they own 2, 3, maybe 4 properties, I'm calling them as long as they've owned it for at least 5 years. That's what I'm doing personally. So don't think too much into it. Just call them, figure out, no, you're not interested in selling that property. Do you have any other property? Do you know anybody that may be interested in a cash offer right now? We're looking for a property that is probably needs a little bit of love. We're looking to make some repairs. We buy all over Houston. Do you know anybody like that? Yeah, actually, my neighbor down the street. You'd be surprised how many times that comes up. Yeah, my neighbor down the street, they're looking to sell right now, actually. Not like I've run into a bunch of those situations, but I have run into a few, right? A few times. People are like, well, I'm not, but my neighbor down the street, if you remember the woman, the Flores, she said the Floreses are looking to sell too. And even through I've only sent out about text to about 1,000 people. But even then, I've been following up when they say no with, okay, if you happen to know anybody who's looking to sell in the area, we do offer a $500 referral fee. And I've already had a small handful of people say, okay, I'll keep my eye out. I had one guy in particular bring me a lead from, granted, it was a lead from like Facebook Marketplace that they were asking way over market value, but I was like, oh no, that's gonna be too much for us. But please, keep them coming. I can pay you a referral fee. He brought me that before I even said that we offer a referral fee. So I was like, I just wanted to continue incentivizing him. Hey, we offer a $500 referral fee, maybe even up to 1,000 if the deal's good enough. Just keep bringing these my way, and that's going to be the most powerful is referrals. I know that I've never gotten a referral deal, obviously, or been in the business long enough to be getting a constant flow of referrals, but those are going to be the easiest conversions, the easiest leads. They are referred to you by a family member or a friend, and those are going to pop easily, right? So, again, just kind of tapping into my text right now, but I think I'm probably going to call it quits here. I appreciate this. I think, honestly, this has been the best live session that I've done. Gotten a few. Well, nobody knew, but all of the main supporters, CWL Type, JLEP, and Lala, you three have been my biggest supporters by far. So I'm really happy to have you guys. I appreciate you guys tapping in and bringing me the questions. This is what I look forward to. I look forward to building the business and being able to help people, especially newcomers like this. So please continue bringing me your questions. I personally feel like I've pointed you guys in the right direction today, or at least steered you away from making the same mistakes that I did when I first started out. And that's all I ever want to do. I hope that I'm helpful. If you're not on the live session right now and you're watching this after the fact, appreciate you for watching it all the way through. It's been coming up on about 2 hours here. Did a little bit of cold calling, had some contacts, a couple follow-ups that I'm going to make, a couple comps that I want to run, figure out what I'm able to offer, maybe throw out some offers to some of those people that I talked to today. Nobody really super motivated, but a couple people that are willing to hear offers, at least that one gentleman in specific. But yeah, appreciate you guys again. If you are, again, watching this right now, please do drop a like, subscribe if you haven't already. I'm trying to go live at least once a day, Monday through Friday, sometimes Saturdays. Cold calling, follow-up, SMS campaigns, comping, driving for dollars. Pretty much is my process. Pretty simple process for me at this point, but I know that it's beneficial for somebody who's just starting out. So I want to be able to share that with you guys. So again, if you haven't already, please do hit the like button, subscribe. Please do comment anything, question, comments, concerns, recommendations, or suggestions. I say it every video, but by no means do I want to hop on here and act like I know exactly what I'm doing. The purpose of me starting this channel in the first place was to just document my progress and be able to share that experience with you guys, right? I thought that it was just so cool. You know, JLEP, I'm pretty sure you were with me throughout my first deal, that whole process. So, you know, you have a special place in my heart because of that alone. The fact that you were there watching me, commenting, tapping into the videos when I was on the phone with the seller or the tenant or the title company. And that's what I was just really looking for in creating this channel. So by no means, again, do I want to come on here and have the demeanor of I know what I'm doing, you don't, let me show you the way, because I know that I'm still learning. So again, please drop in the comment section anything that you're wanting to see from me, any questions that you may have, and I'll be sure to point you in the right direction. Appreciate you guys. Until the next one, until tomorrow, peace. Thanks for the info today. D, talk soon. All right, bro. Appreciate you. Till the next one. Tomorrow, I'm gonna be going live around the same time, noon, 1. Pretty much go live around that same time every day. So see you guys tomorrow. Peace.